What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Mamaverse podcast, where we bring experts in physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual wellness to talk about how moms can improve their overall health in their daily life. I'm your host, Tu Hien Lee, and our guest today is a dear friend and wonderful person, a registered massage therapist, Kube. Hi, Kube.
Hi, everybody.
Thanks for joining us in the Mamaverse. So Kube, you're based in Canada and Toronto, and you're here in Florida on vacation and still massaging me because you are an amazing friend.
And do you think it worked?
Yes, it does. Obviously. Yes. I love it. So, Koobs, we want to know a little bit more about you. What inspired you to get into massage therapy?
I have always been a very active person. I like to lift a lot of weights, and I did Muay Thai for a few years. And I just always felt like massage really helped me with, just maintaining my body throughout all these workouts. And 2 years ago, I decided to go back to school for it. And I love doing it. Like, it makes me so happy when I'm able to help people with their daily pains or trying to balance their posture. It's like really fulfilling. And that's why I love doing massage therapy.
Yeah, you were always really into just like health and wellness and physical wellness. So when you told me that you were going into massage therapy, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. That totally makes sense. And plus you're super curious about like the science of the body too.
Yeah. It's like figuring a puzzle every person I massage.
Yeah.
It's really fun. There's never a dull moment.
Mm-hmm. So something that I've kind of discovered based on my own like massage therapy journey, that there's like kind of two types of massages. There's like the relaxing one where you can fall asleep, and like I don't want to say painful, but it mostly for me can be painful. It's like more treatment based, right?
Yeah.
So when you're working with clients, would you say most people are into more treatment based or more like relaxing based?
I would say I get a mix of both, but normally at the start of the treatment, I ask them, like, what are your treatment goals? Like, do you just want to relax, or do you want me to actually figure out what's going on and help you balance out your body and like eliminate the pain or achiness that you have? Mm-hmm. But majority, I get like a mix. And some people, when they're laying face down, they fall asleep. And then when I turn them over, normally the quad area is like really tight. And they'll wake up and be like, okay, like, yeah, I needed this. Mm-hmm. So it really depends on the person. It's usually a mix of both, I would say.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Do you prefer doing one type of massage over another?
I prefer the treatment-based massage.
Which I have personally experienced.
Yes, I like it more because I think I really like to figure things out. And I feel like with a relaxation massage, you're kind of just going through the motion. You're using lighter pressure. You're not really going deep and seeing if there's any trigger points or any myofascial restrictions. So when I'm doing a treatment-based massage, I can kind of connect the dots and say, okay, this area is tight and it causes this other area to compensate and stuff like that. And that really kind of, I love problem solving. So that's why I love doing more treatment-based massage. And then the person feels way better afterwards too. Right. And it's nice that I can give them self-care based on my findings during the massage, which is very important, self-care.
Oh, so like what kind of like self-care tips or suggestions are you giving them as you're doing the treatment-based massages?
So I find a lot of the time, because everyone's working from home now, their chest is usually really tight. And the back muscles get elongated because you're in like in this position for a long time.
Like this bent over, curled up position.
Exactly. And your head is probably moving forward. So like these front neck muscles get really tight. and the side neck muscles get really tight also. And normally the traps in the back, I'm sure everyone can relate to this. Like that area just holds a lot of tension. So usually I teach my patients to stretch at the end of every session, and I'll tell them to do that just throughout the day, just because doing something is always better than doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of my patients have told me that's helped them a lot.
Yeah. Do you think like getting a standing desk could help alleviate that, especially if you're working
I
from
think
home?
I think it would help to not sit all day, because I always think that if you're in that position, that you're going to become that position. Like your quads are going to be really tight, your hip flexors are going to be really tight, and then your hamstrings are going to get really long, and then they get weak. And if a muscle isn't at an optimal length for it, then it can't contract properly, and it can lead to other problems or like pain.
Oh,
It's important to move around throughout the day, just get the fluid moving and stuff.
right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, the majority of our audience are moms or parents.
Mm-hmm.
So time is just a commodity that we don't have a lot of. So for like a busy parent, a busy mom, like what is like how often should they think about going in for like massage treatment, or what is a good cadence to do that?
I would say usually after giving birth, you probably should go if you can. It's probably hard. I would probably go once every 2 weeks initially, just to see what's going on and kind of like front load your treatments. And then after probably a month or two, you can probably phase it down to like once a month for maintenance, considering the therapist gives you self-care to do at home. So
Mm-hmm.
it's better for you to like do that to maintain between treatments.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What about like so let's say a mom is more like they have kids that are older, so they're like, 5 to 8 years
Mm-hmm.
postpartum, and they're not necessarily like an athlete where they're running marathons or, doing CrossFit workouts. Like, do you think it's still beneficial to go in and get treatment?
I think it's still very beneficial, because as a mom, you're not that you're running a marathon, but I'm sure you're constantly chasing after your kid or like bending up to pick up their toys and stuff. And maybe the person doesn't bend over properly and they could have pain in their lower back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just beneficial for everyone, even just to get the blood moving and get some fluid movement
Just
in
for
the joints and
circulation,
stuff.
basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And for like joint health.
yeah, I could see that. I feel like after I gave birth, I always am more susceptible to like back pains. Sometimes I'm like,
Yeah.
is that age or I don't know, but like just back pains randomly, even if I'm like sitting for too long, if I'm in a car too long, or if I'm like
Mm-hmm.
picking up my daughter and she's getting bigger and it's like, oh, okay, like I can't just like go and lift quickly. I have to use my legs, like
Yeah.
be very
Brace yourself.
right. I have
Engage
to
the core.
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I know for me personally, I enjoy the more like like the treatment base, because I want the knots and all of that taken care of, even though it doesn't always feel that great during, but it does feel nice afterwards once the tension has
Mm-hmm.
been released. So then maybe this question is getting a little more technical, but like, why does my back or people's backs even have knots? Like, what does that even mean? Like, how does that form? Like, what is it?
So knots can be like trigger points, and trigger points are muscle fibers that are squished together and they get stuck. So
So it can be
if something
anywhere.
gets stuck, it literally can be anywhere. Yeah.
Okay.
And when I'm massaging, it's a trigger point if I press on it and the muscle starts to twitch, or that means it's letting go, or if I press on it and you feel it elsewhere. Because it's
Mm,
very, very interesting. Every muscle has a different referral pattern. So, for example, if you have a trigger point up here, if I press on it, or if it's really tight, it doesn't even have to be like me pressing on it. It can be an active trigger point, meaning that you could feel the pain, and the referral pattern is like a question mark. It goes like this behind your ear.
Oh,
So there's also that to know where the knot is based
okay.
on the symptoms. Again, problem solving.
Right. Okay. So
Yeah.
then
hmm
what is the benefit of working those knots out other than it feeling good? But like, I can still function with the knots in me.
Yeah, but I feel like if you don't take care of it earlier, like it could lead to other problems. Like other parts of your body could compensate for that muscle not contracting properly because it's not an optimal length, or things
Mm-hmm.
could be weak. So I think massage also goes hand in hand with training, like strengthening
Mm-hmm.
muscles and like stretching,
Mm-hmm.
because you want like to optimize your overall health and
Oh,
muscle length and strength to be more functional overall.
okay.
Yeah.
So you know that I like lift weights a lot and train. I mean, you've worked out with me. We do more like hit style where there's like combination of like cardio, some running, and like a lot of weightlifting.
hmm
So, so obviously, like sometimes after workout, I'm like really sore. That soreness, is that related to the knots in my body?
No,
No.
no, that
Okay.
soreness is just delayed onset muscle soreness, which could last anywhere from 28 to like 48 hours, depending.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, yeah. But a hot bath would be very beneficial for that, or contrast showers.
Oh, okay. So then
hmm
do you not recommend getting massages when you're sore like that? Or is there a benefit to doing
No,
that?
you can. It's actually really good because you're increasing the blood flow to the area, so the muscles would heal faster. Because
Okay.
during a massage, you're literally like pushing the fluid around.
Oh, so it's all about the circulation then, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, because we know circulation is really good.
I use a lot of heat in my treatments. Like I like to use hot stone
Mm-hmm.
because if you just put the stone on there, it'll like warm up the tissue, it'll increase blood flow, and then when I get to that part, it's just softer and can go deeper faster, and it won't be as painful.
Oh, so
Yeah,
if there's no heat, then the muscle is just like harder and like harder to work through.
yeah. It just takes more time to warm it up
Mm, okay.
because you can't go too deep too fast, otherwise you get kickback pain. That's why there's principles of massage you have to follow
Kickback
to
pain.
not hurt the person.
What's that?
Kickback pain is when you just go too hard too fast,
Uh-huh.
or if after treating a trigger point, for example, and going really deep, you don't flush it out. So there's like superficial massage, which is like the top layer, and then there's like intermediate techniques where it's like kind of like in the middle, and then there's like deep techniques where you're like really in there.
Okay. Okay, so
hmm
that leads me
hmm
to
hmm
I know I'm
So
like
for those of you people who are at the beginning of the massage, oh, you can apply more pressure. Like, no, the person's doing you a favor by not going too hard too fast.
oh, okay, okay.
hmm
So I know that there's like different styles, like deep tissue, Swedish, Thai,
Yes,
right?
yes,
And like there's different Chinese styles, like
yes.
acupressure, right?
hmm
So are they that different? Are they
They are really different. Well, deep tissue and Swedish are not really that different considering you're using the same techniques. You're just like Swedish is just very like superficial,
mm-hmm.
more like relaxation based because you're not going
Okay.
as deep. But deep tissue, you're still using general Swedish techniques, but you're just using it in a way that it gets deeper in the muscle.
Okay. So this is
Yeah,
good
and
to know when
mm-hmm,
we go and get massages, because obviously massage is like a huge part of self-care. Like we know
yeah,
what type of massage to get. Like I always choose deep tissue.
yeah,
And I just hope I
you
hope
need
they
it.
yeah. I hope it works. So then what's like the Thai massage then?
Thai massage is usually done on the floor. It's done
Oh,
with clothes on, and you're putting the person in certain stretch positions while compressing on their muscle. And
uh-huh.
there's kind of like a sequence to it.
Oh,
So it's kind of like you're actively stretching, but you're also compressing the muscle at the same time.
okay.
Yeah, so that will help with increasing mobility whereas a Swedish or a deep tissue will only work on your muscles and not really improve your range of motion unless you add like stretching to it.
Oh, okay. Okay. And then what
Mm-hmm.
about like the acupressure, the Chinese style? Like when I go to the Chinese massage.
I think I'm not sure about that because I'm not trained in that.
I just remember
Mm-hmm.
going and seeing like the charts for like the foot massage for the different pressure points, but
Like reflexology.
oh, reflexology. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. That's really good to know because they, when you
Hmm.
go to massage places, they have like the menu of different types of massages. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll get the Swedish one or I guess I'll get the deep tissue one, but I've never really like asked what the differences were.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
Are there
now you
any? So I liked how you talked about one is for improvement of mobility versus like tissue, like muscle relief, I guess. Is that the right
yeah.
word?
Yeah.
Is there like combinations where you can get both?
I usually do a combination. I'm actually certified in fascial stretch therapy through this place called Stretch to Win Institute, which is actually based in Arizona. But yeah, I'll usually stretch the person for like 30 minutes and then I like to do an hour of massage after, just so I'm doing both, you know, I'm assessing their mobility while I'm stretching. And then based on that, I can figure out what muscles are long and short. And then I'll work on that during the massage. And I
Mm,
find that to be the most effective, like incorporating stretching with massage. And at the end of the treatment, what you found or what stretches I did on the table, I can give to the person to do at home. So the next time they come, they could either get a less, like a 60-minute instead of like a 90-minute, and they'll see improvements. Like the most important part is actually the self-care, because your massage therapist is only with you for like 60 to 90 minutes, and the rest of the time you're doing whatever you're doing to get back to the state that you came into the massage with, right?
mm,
So self-care is key.
okay. So fascial tissue stretching,
Yeah, fascial stretch therapy.
fascial stretch therapy. Okay. And why is that important though? Is that just like
That's
regular stretching?
important. No, that's not regular stretching.
Okay.
Yeah, regular stretching is like static stretching,
Okay.
where you're just holding the stretch for like 30 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, but fascial stretches, you need someone else to do it for you.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
As you've experienced.
I have experienced it. um, and fascial tissue, what you explained to me before is like the tissue that wrapping around your muscle, right? So you need
Yeah,
to get through
basically.
that tissue before you even get to like the muscle points.
Yeah, it covers all your muscles. And sometimes if that's tight, um, yeah, it can cause restrictions that are limiting your muscles from like contracting properly. So I always do fascial myofascial work is different from fascial stretch. Like myofascial technique in Swedish is just like working on the fascia, which is very superficial, but you don't use oil. So you're trying to glide the tissue on top so that it moves better. And then you can do your deeper work and it will glide much better.
Mm-hmm. Now,
Mm-hmm.
doing all of this in the combination of the stretching, the fascial tissue, stretching and therapy and the deep tissue, so all that's to basically get our body to our optimal point, right? So like when
Yes.
I'm in my workout, like I'm not limited in being able to like fire my hamstrings to jump or anything like that. Basically, is that
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's really interesting because I mean, I guess I knew that massages feel good, but I didn't really like piece it together and how it can actually really, really
Mm-hmm.
help in your recovery. Relaxation is a big thing, but just like your overall wellness, right?
Yeah. And just like even being in tune with your body. Like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the time I'll press on somebody's muscle and they'll be like, oh, I didn't even know that was sore. So it
Mm-hmm.
actually helps with like body awareness.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Even you like pushed on like my bicep and you're like, see your biceps are like flex. I'm like, oh, you're right. I didn't even I didn't even
Yeah.
notice it. I thought, I was
Yeah.
like, isn't that normal? And you're like,
I'm
no.
like, it can be improved.
Yeah, there's a little bit of work to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this is
Hmm.
so interesting. Thank you, Kubi. You're like educating us on how we should be thinking about, massage therapy and how we can incorporate that
Hmm.
in our overall health and our wellness. It can be used for just relaxing, but can also be used for treatment based and for our
Hmm.
body and therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So
really glad now you know more about massage therapy, which I'm very passionate about.
yes, yes. Thank you. Yes, thank you so much for joining us on the Mamaverse. Where can our listeners find you and work with you?
I'm in Canada,
That's okay.
Toronto.
We've got Canadians too.
Toronto. My Instagram is Kube, KUBE.RMT, and you can find me there.
Awesome. So I would encourage those of you who are based in the Toronto area or go and visit in Toronto, like definitely hit Kubi up. She does amazing massage therapy and sessions. I've personally had them. I love them. And yeah, you'll find like a huge difference in the way that Kubi structures her treatment with stretching and all of the deep therapy tissue. But it's all relaxing, I would definitely hit Kubi up. Thank you so much, Kubi, for joining us on the
Thank you for
Mamaverse.
having me.
Thank you. And everybody go give Kubi a follow. We will have everything linked at the bottom of the show notes and the description. And we will catch you on the next episode.